and
I
act
only
like
brought it up so in the comments they would
Of
screenshot
course, we know
Nadeska's
what
face
you're
and be
doing.
like, yo,
I know
every
what you're
time they
doing.
bring up Nicki,
'Cause you know I
look
can't
at
control my
Nadeska's face.
Man, I knew it. I knew it.
It's Rap Life Review. Low, Nadeska, Ebro, back together again.
What up? It's good to see you guys.
Yo,
What's going on?
Nadeska's looking like she came from the vice president's crib, right? She got the nice button up on, you know what I mean?
The trousers, you're right.
You know what I mean? The way the hair is tucked.
They call it smart casual.
There you
That's what
go.
the invite said.
That's what they told you?
That was the dress code.
But we will get to Nadeska at the vice president's house. She was at that Hip Hop 50 celebration. But first, let's start with the releases. Boogie dropped a 3-track EP. Go get that. Real Boston Richey, who signed to Free Bands, which is Future.
Yep.
A lot of people talking about that album. Coi Leroy dropped a 5-song EP.
Sure did.
And she's also on a joint with Busta Rhymes. How'd you guys like that video? You saw the video?
I saw the video, but I do not like the song.
You
Don't like the song?
No, it's a complete rip from Ain't No.
I thought that was the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
But you don't think they did a good job?
No, it's not paying homage. It's just ripping it.
Okay.
So you just don't think they did a good job?
No, it was lazy. I've expressed my opinion about the laziness of sampling over the last couple of years, and I think that was extremely lazy. Love Coi Leroy.
Would it surprise you that? Well, so now Ain't No from Hove and Foxy was really just an EPMD rip because the loop is just a loop.
Right.
And it's a big hip hop loop that's been around for a long time.
Right.
So we like the Jay-Z Foxy, which was really just a play on the EPMD. So it really goes all the way back to EPMD. The loop, the beat does.
Yes.
The execution on top of the beat, I think, is maybe where we could probably have debate. Because saying it was lazy, Hove and Foxy was lazy. If that's the case on production.
I mean, if we go there, I think the nostalgia of it gives it the push that, like, all right, cool, we know what this record is. It's gonna make noise. It's gonna cause debate. I don't think back when Fox and Jay did it, a lot of people or fans knew where it really came from.
No, you didn't, because you was a baby.
I
knew what it was, and I was appreciative of it because it was dope. Like, it was like, oh, they flipped a sample that we already know.
Right, but a lot of people, even when you talk about that record today, they don't even reference.
My opinions are predicated by the lack of knowledge of others. I'm letting you know.
Right.
If you're saying they did a bad job on the song, that's one convo. Like what they did on top of the loop.
I said it was lazy.
Yeah, but you spoke to the production.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That part.
Yeah, but that's the same production that Hove and Fox
all right, well, then the song sucks.
So then ain't no sucks.
No, it don't. Ain't no the actually good classic record.
Because of how they rhymed on it?
That and because of
because of what it meant to you at the time.
Don't try to.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel you.
The production's all the same. It's the same beat.
Okay, did you dislike the entire song?
Yes.
Them going back and forth?
Yes.
Okay, so didn't like it, period.
Right, but you can't say that based on the beat is my point. I mean, you can say whatever you want to say. But if you're using the beat as the reason not to like it, then...
I can lead off with that because that's how I feel about it.
But you know with Ebro, you got to like lead off and follow up quick before he jumps in because then it's over.
Yeah, he's been missing that.
Right. Yeah, because like T.I. famously said, you started with some bullshit.
I feel like for those two, the caliber of artists that they are, it didn't have to be that. It could have been something way more spectacular, way more, flashy.
Then a classic beat?
But they only kept it to 2 minutes, so it's not we tuned into like a 10-minute song where we were disappointed. I'm just saying.
Now we can't have fun with famous loops.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. That's a larger conversation that we've been having on this show for a minute. We've been having this conversation, so it's not predicated to just them. I'm saying, like, if it's gonna be Busta and Coi Leroy, like, make it big, make it flashy, make it fun. This is just like, okay, ain't no.
See, now I disagree completely. I feel like they were having fun. That was the point. And when you watch the music video, the music video is very fun. Okay. So I think they was just having, I think it was literally, we're just having fun versus your expectation of like, they got to roll out the next, groundbreaking life change. They was just like, yo, let's just have some fun.
All right. My fault. I thought this.
It's nobody's fault.
No, it's my fault.
I mean, it's a show about debate. So wait, we can't use classic hoops and we can't debate? Yo, what the fuck is this shit coming to, bro?
Yeah.
We also got Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion with Bongos. You guys saw the video, I'm sure. All the debates on whether or not it was good or bad. I think it's very interesting because, once again, two artists are just having fun.
Mm-hmm. Did people expect anything different than what we got? This is the only song that's dropped this year where I watched the video without. the video first.
Right. I think the beat, because it doesn't sound like anything else in the genre,
is the problem.
Is throwing people, well, for the people who don't like it, I think.
What's the problem with the record?
Some people don't like it.
Well, I mean, like, that's not a problem. That's just opinion.
Yeah.
But I don't see nothing wrong with how women in hip hop right now do have a neutral, similar sound, right? It's trap, it's
There's a lot
raunchy, it's, upbeat, aggressive. This is more fun, loud.
Wow, you're good with them having fun, but Busta and Coi Leroy can't have fun.
Yo, there should be no more fun for this entire episode, though. That's what we're learning. You know what?
It's damned if you do, damned if you don't. What's the next topic?
Yo, Cardi's choreography is getting better. Her performance, like in the video.
Thank you for that segue.
Bro, I see the improvement. I actually enjoyed watching. It's like see her and Megan back together. Like, WAP was a mega smash. Of course, people are gonna be mad, debate, whatever. The song is doing exactly what it needs, but I like seeing them.
I feel like you had a great interview with them.
The trilogy.
Thank you. She in that interview we had with her on the morning show I do on Hot 97 in New York City. She admitted and talked about the dancing piece, where she was like, "Yo, I'm a terrible dance." Like,
nah, but she looked good in this video. I feel like it's looking more natural to her now. Like
I think the piece that really jumped out for me was I appreciate them trying a sound that doesn't sound like anything else. Like
which a lot of people have a problem with for some odd reason.
It's jarring for people because if you notice, there's a lot in hip hop. There's a lot of sound-alike shit, right? And I think the reason that is because it's safe, and they know when you roll it out, it feels familiar instantly, and so people go with that. That's kind of a cheat code.
That sounds familiar,
right? And it doesn't take work for you to. It doesn't take work for you to like get into it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got
so it's a sound alike. But I appreciate this record, honestly, because I think it taps into a little like Dominican dembow. It also taps into some like African sounds. I appreciated like the cloth Megan was wearing in the thing while Cardi was looking like a little tapping into her like Dominican roots a little bit. So that kind of like black, me and the whole black diaspora kind of elements
I saw your
of
tweet
it.
About it.
I appreciate them making that effort, even though people may not have picked up on it.
And then you gotta also we're used to hearing Meg somewhat on the same kind of beats.
Right.
So for her to jump into this kind of pocket shows her being brave, and after everything that's happened with her and her coming out to a single like this, it's fun and just having fun.
Yo, Nicki dropped a pop bop. I call it a pop bop. I like this Nicki record. I really do. As far as like a mainstream crossover pop record, which I historically have not liked a lot of mainstream, like Super Bass I wasn't a fan, and Starships I wasn't a fan, like the overtly, like I'm gonna make a pop mainstream record. When this came on, I was like, ooh, this is a crossover smash, like a purposeful shot to be in that space. And I find it interesting too, like, and this is for the barbs out there. I see you guys talking about like Nicki not being celebrated or something, like when she dropped this record. Why is that a constant thing when Nicki just had multiple chart-topping singles? She drops this record, which people are loving. Why is there this constant air of like people not appreciating Nicki Minaj? Where does that come from?
All right, well, when you ask that question,
who am I asking?
Not who are you asking. Where's the root of that question coming from?
I don't know. Because I see people saying that. I see her fans. The barbs.
So they're
not people now?
So then
they breathe air and drink water like the rest of us?
No. We're not gonna have that conversation. We're not gonna sit here and act as if Nicki is not celebrated. We're not gonna sit here and act as Nicki is not one of the best, songwriters, rappers,
all the things you've said on the show.
Yeah, we're not gonna sit here and act like.
I only brought it up so in the comments they would screenshot Nadeska's face and be like, yo, every time they bring up Nicki, look at Nadeska's face.
Man, I knew it.
We're not gonna so that's why.
Yeah, it's funny as hell to me. They be like, look at the hater on the couch.
We're not about to sit here and nah. Like we know what
you know what the best part is? What? He's gonna sit down with Nicki for an interview at some point and just shit on us.
Oh yeah, the right side of the couch.
I can't believe Nadeska's doing you like that, bro.
And act like I've never praised
Nadeska be acting foul, bro. That shit gotta stop, right?
I already know what it is. Enjoy the interview, bro.
Speaking of other MCs, the ladies are on fire. Doja Cat. I know a lot of people. Yo, fam, it's so funny, man.
I guess there's debates about her being a
debates about that. Debates about that.
Worshiper. I mean, she been in the weirdo shit for a long time, but like our music, it's so funny because, and shout out to Rob Markman, I saw him talking about this too. And I tweeted about it and put some comments because people were so jarred by her making like a horror movie video, because that's what it was. And I guess because it's a follow-up to Paint the Town Red, where she's playing with the whole devil imagery, et cetera, et cetera. Our music is, I mean, we are captivated by death and violence, drug abuse, hypersexuality, rape culture. Like, it's in hip hop heavy. And it's, by the way, always been there. This is not a new phenomenon. Like, go get Born to Mac, Too Short, and any of the shit that came out in the 80s that was, you know, 2 Live Crew. You can go listen to all that shit. It's been in the music, right?
Nelly.
That's real life, like, debauchery and, like, negativity and toxicity, right? And we're all entertained by it. But as soon as somebody plays with, like, the idea of, like, the devil, bruh, the wheels come, people like fall apart.
I love it. I love watching it fall apart. It's amazing.
Why do you think that is?
Well, it's just because it's religion. It's we're all so raised.
So so religion is very, very touchy because there's so many divisions of it. So when someone goes to that kind of pocket, it's just like, hey, oh no.
Oh no, I'd be scared too. I don't play with the devil. Like, I would never, ever do that. But it
works every time.
Every time.
The shock value. Like Lil Nas X, you would think at some point people will learn. Artists are just having fun and they want to get that reaction out of you. But like, for you to take time out of your day to like get riled up and write an angry comment, you know what I mean?
That's
like,
just music.
Well, it's all imagery, right? It's all made up imagery.
Yeah.
And then we got to big up the legend in the game whom you saw at the Vice President's house, Lil Wayne, who dropped a single called Cat Food, which is about...
Yo, you're on a roll today.
Right. Like,
yeah.
Which is about his favorite food, he said. He said it's about his favorite food.
Right.
Cat food.
Yeah.
He did not perform this song at the
He didn't perform Kamala.
Didn't. He was just happy to be there. He was not going to cross that line and perform this song.
But what else did you see at the Vice President's house?
So Kamala came out and just, with her husband gave a little speech, about how hip hop culture is American culture. So she was excited to host the event. So it was cool. There were people like Common, Slick Rick, MC Light performed, Saba was there, Jeezy, Fat Joe, Remy. It was a nice little lineup.
Shout out to Wale, I saw him there.
Wale too, yeah, I got to say hello to Wale. So it felt like a nice little family reunion at the VP's residence. And I think everyone just felt like, this is cool. This is something 50 years ago would have been impossible.
That's
so
right.
That was the moment. So Ebro, thank you for the invite. It was a nice little weekend.
Wait, and y'all both went?
No, I didn't get to go.
Okay.
I was down in Mexico City. Shout to the Latin American team and the whole Musica Mexicana celebration. I was down there. We created some radio and interviewed some artists. Nice. And I got to learn about the origins of corrido, which is, it's basically like outlaw. It's almost like hip hop. It's no, it's not even almost. It is very hip hop. Like, they talking shit about the neighborhood in their records, but the music that they use is very like traditional Mexican music, and they're using samples and 808s, chop it up, and there's artists are taking over the charts. It's a whole movement. So I got to meet a bunch of artists down there. We had a whole celebration down there. So I could not be at the VP's house because I was in Mexico City. Drake announces for all my dogs, we go to OVO Low. The release date.
Finally,
the album,
all right, okay, like let's just get this shit the fuck out the way. Finally, we got the date, 9/22/23. All right, I'm sure it's gonna go crazy on Apple Music. It's been a lot of conversation about what the album's gonna look like, sound like.
What's the sound like?
We have no idea.
Oh,
it's a lot of speculation.
Oh God, okay.
Lil Yachty has said that this is one of Drake's best verses and
now he's in promo mode because he worked on it. He worked on it, right?
Yeah, I don't know what he did on it, but he's got a lot to say about it. His father's got a lot to say about it. All in all, I'm tired of hearing about this shit. I just want to hear the fucking music.
So we can't have fun and we can't get excited and anticipate the drop of one of the biggest artists in music. Yo,
what is it that we can do?
You feel me?
What can we do? What can we do?
You ever notice, like, when it's Thanksgiving dinner, right? And your parents are like, it's almost ready. It's almost ready. Y'all about to have the best meal of your life. It's almost ready. It's 3 o'clock. It's 4 o'clock.
Yo, that's facts.
It's 5 o'clock.
Yo, it'd be 8 o'clock at night.
What the fuck?
Y'all been talking to us since yesterday.
That's all I'm saying.
And then we got to talk Diddy. Diddy's got an album coming out, and he has announced, or I don't know if he announced it or it was announced.
Let's just say it was announced.
It was announced.
Yeah.
That the artist publishing that he's held since signing a lot of artists now reverts back to those artists.
Right.
Did Diddy do that, or was this just a part of the contractual agreement? Because that is a thing. Where after a certain period of time,
you get your
publishing can revert back to the artist.
Well,
so I don't know if this was just one of those or this was
It doesn't sound like it was one of those because it said the process to give these artists their publishing back started in May 2021.
Okay.
So it's been in the works for 2 years because we've heard Mace talking about this and complaining about it in the past. So I guess something finally changed where Diddy decided to make that move. And I mean, in the statement it said, he sees it as part of a broader goal of promoting economic empowerment for Black artists and culture.
Most of the blowback, though, is why now? And honestly, people saying that this is a part of the promo for the album. Do you agree with that take? Low, Nadeska, is that? Because here's my thing with it. Diddy has been a record executive since, I don't know.
What, 8? No. 90,
nah, let's just say with Bad Boy. Let's not even include Uptown, but Bad Boy was at 94.
Yeah.
The business dealings that Diddy has done are the same business dealings that other record executives and other record labels have done, but because it's Diddy and he's a part of our community, he makes himself accessible.
Right.
Obviously, people are screaming at him all the time to do deals that are more in favor of the artist.
Right.
Better deals. I've always thought that the only reason we do that is because A, he's Black, and B, we know him.
And C, he's part of the music. He's not like an executive who stood on the side. When I think of Bad Boy, although Puff wasn't rapping on all the records, to me, he's like part of the sound.
Right.
So I think that's also part of it.
But we ain't yelling at any other executive that we don't see their face, that have done worse dealings with Black music for literally since the inception of Black music. But I think where there's an expectation because he's Black and because he's of the culture, he's gonna do something different. And if he did, and because he didn't or he is doing now people got something to say.
I want to be very careful with how I word this.
Okay.
I look at this situation because over the years, the conversation of him doing bad business deals and taking publishing and, distributing shitty contracts, I think that's where the disdain comes. Like, finally.
Because people are saying it or because
the artists are saying it.
And have been saying it.
The artists have been saying it.
Right, but
so I think the disdain of this whole situation is the timing of it. And it's like, fucking finally,
okay,
you righted your wrongs. But it's how you're doing it now. That's my only issue. Like, yes, this is a nice pivotal thing for executives to see and understand how to treat and maneuver with their artists. That right there.
That they're getting their publishing back.
Yeah, that on the table that's perfect. I think because of the process and how long it took and how loud the artists were screaming, you choose to do it now, or we hear about it now a week before the album comes out. I think that's where the conversation lies online, is what I've been seeing. That's my only.
Yeah, I guess I've heard this and I've been a part of these conversations for years, and I think, usually my feeling is there's nothing hidden in the deals when you sign.
Right? No, of course.
There's no hidden language in the deals.
Right.
It's usually these deals are signed by people who have a talent and have a financial demand and they need cash now. Some of that is the more predatory part of it for me. Is the lawyers who are entertainment lawyers who are friends with the label executives, so they're making sure the deals and the misleading of the individual signing the deal. I think that's where a lot of that kind of, for me anyway, that's where a lot of that, y'all did him dirty and y'all knew y'all was doing this person
Especially
dirty.
At that point in time. I think if you're an artist coming up now, there's no reason for you to sign a bad deal because you've heard the story so many times.
You would think.
You have better resources, you have the internet.
You would
but
think.
When you were signing deals in the early 90s, the culture was still pretty young. That must have been a much more difficult time to maneuver a contract.
Well, and I think a lot of people just don't even understand, the difference between, getting an advance for something and having outright ownership of something.
Especially at that point.
Or understanding royalties, splits, publishing, points, all that.
I've been in this business 30 years. I don't even understand that shit.
Neither.
Mechanicals.
I mean, I understand it, but it's not for me to understand. Like,
but it's conversations I feel like we've been having a lot for the past 10 years.
But
right?
it's also, it is centered around this individual.
But I think it's because he's accessible.
It's
because we know him, see him, and because he looks like us, or you know what I mean. That we have, that we're like, why are you acting and doing deals the same way other executives who took advantage of black artists?
Now, is that the expectation we have moving forward? That executives who look like us, who come from the culture, it's their responsibility to do deals in a way that's fair to artists? Because that's not what labels do.
I don't think that's the way business works.
Yeah.
People who aren't in business for a living have romanticized this idea that people who get in business are doing it to help people.
Yeah.
And they're doing it to make as much money as possible. This is not charity work. It's not a grassroots organization. This is not a nonprofit, a 501c3. They are getting in business to make a lot of money.
To make capital.
Yes, and capitalize in a capitalist society, in a free market society. So, I mean, and that's one of the, I think the ugly sides of business is you have people, and specifically the music business, is you have an artist pouring their heart out into some art, right? For the purpose of uplifting and connecting and helping someone and helping themselves and all of that, right? No matter the genre. But on the other side, you have a businessman, a tycoon, a CEO, a bank, you know, just doing it for profit. And they say that these bad boy, let's see, what are they called? The publishing for this is still worth hundreds of millions of dollars as an asset.
Makes sense.
So there has been talk on the internet where it's just like, oh, he giving it up because there ain't no money left.
No, but it's like Biggie's estate is included. That's always going to be like a moneymaker. Right. You know, it's not like just artists who are not collecting checks still. So some progress.
J. Cole, a lot of features from Cole. Passport Bros. I really got excited to see him and Gucci Mane together. Obviously, the Summer Walker, and he had a huge hit with the Lil Durk record, which I think I've heard talk that Lil Durk record is going to be very highly touted when the big awards season comes back around.
I'm sure. And then there's also talk of him maybe being on For All the Dogs.
Oh, right, or For All My Dogs. Is it For All the Dogs or My Dogs?
For All the Dogs.
Yeah, I mean, he's been checking all the boxes with these features, right? So I feel like he's doing the things that people, I don't know who those people are anyway, criticized him about for a long time, like being the guy who does everything with no features. Yeah. And then when he started, I thought it was maybe just going to be a year or two, but he's been pretty consistent, and I feel like he's checking the genre. So he did Young Thug and 21, remember? Now that he has the J-Hope one, he's checked like K-pop or K-pop rap.
Yo, I love that kid. The J-Hope joint?
Yeah, that's crazy. He's got the Summer Walk.
The joint with him and Bass is like Afrobeats kind of.
Yeah, Afrobeats. He has the Burna Boy one, that's definitely Afrobeats. Then Benny the Butcher, which is a different kind of street rap than like 21. Obviously the Durk, that's like pop rap. So I feel like all he's missing right now, as far as I can see, is like a traditional. Yeah, he needs the Morgan Wallen collaboration. Country, and then just like a regular pop. Like, remember Kendrick had the like Taylor Swift thing?
True.
I didn't really care for that. But he doesn't have like, I guess, a true regular pop thing.
He doesn't have classical too, and we got Apple Music Classical.
Okay,
so since we
got
he could do
that. I was just trying to have a serious talk.
What we doing, baby?
Okay.
This is a rollout for
Classical Cole.
Classical Cole. All right, there you go.
So
we're missing 3: classical, pop, and country.
At least he's having fun.
Yeah.
I love that part. That J. Cole is allowed to have fun. The rest of us, absolutely not. No fun. I love that part, man. I'm glad too. And that was a J. Cole update courtesy of Dreamville Nadeska. We got OVO Low. My name is Ebro, and this has been the Rap Life Review.
Barb. This is Queen Barb right here. Queen, really. Yeah. He's trying to knock Nicki off of her spot as Queen Barb. That's really what's going on.
That's how you feel?
Yeah.
You
see? Really wanted
that. Barbs, y'all see what goes on over here, man.
I
just be trying to be honest, man. I just be trying to be
Barb
Ebro.
What's up? Nadeska here, and if you enjoyed this episode of the Rap Life Review, you can catch me here every week with Lowkey and Ebro. Subscribe, hit the like button, make sure you never miss an episode, and of course, drop us a comment below, and we'll see you next time on the Rap Life Review.